Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Hops Geek News, a podcast that discusses comic books, movies, TV shows, and beer. On our show, we go through some news. We talk about what we messed up on last week. And then, of course, we hit a main topic every single week as well. This week, we are going to be talking about the fact that I have actually started Supernatural finally. So, yay, as the TikTok universe has welcomed with open arms. I'm starting to feel like Dominic Toretto. I got family now. Everybody's like, welcome to the Supernatural fam. And I'm like, oh my God, I wish
Family don't end in blood, boy.
where were you guys when my dad went to get cigarettes? Thank you. So it's an adventure. So we'll talk about that. We were originally supposed to have a guest on this episode. I messed up. So that'll be next week's episode instead. Frank will be joining us to talk about his comic book. But in the meantime, make sure you go to Frank Martin at Frank the Writer on Twitter. Check out his Kickstarter for P1 Nokio. It's a really cool riff off of Pinocchio, and it takes place in outer space. So it's pretty rad. Check that out in the meantime. That Kickstarter goes until the 20th of January. And like I said, next week we'll have him on. But first things first, though, I am, of course, Matt. Alongside me is Lauren. Make sure you go to Hops Geek News on Instagram, TikTok, especially TikTok these days, Twitter, any social media platform. Join our Facebook group where we all hang out and have a good time. Do that. And then if you're looking for our episodes, you stumbled here, don't know where to go, please go ahead. Hops Geek News. That's the easiest way to find us. Just search us. Then you'll find all of our latest episodes. We've been re-releasing episodes. And then now that I have started watching Supernatural and there's 37 seasons, I am going to casually be going through and
That's
maybe
15.
37. Maybe each week I'm going to be going through and kind of like, hey, this is where I'm at, talk about where I'm at so far, and maybe do like a big recap for each season, things like that as like bonus episodes. So we'll be doing that. Yeah. I'm participating in dry January. I know we talked about that. We talk about beers. Well, I just really need to get back in shape. So I was like, all right, I'll do dry January for the first time ever. And let me tell you, folks, I am not an alcoholic, but if it isn't hard, and then this year has been the longest year ever, just going back to work. And so, I mean, it's only been 3 days or 5 days of the year, but good Lord, has been long. So I'm just drinking water out of my Life Day cup. That's all
You know,
I'm
I've
doing.
I've seen a few people who have like beerstagrams. They're like reviewing non-alcoholic beers this month. One guy's reviewing root beers.
Oh,
I'm a big fan of the
I
hop
drink soda.
teas.
You know what?
So
I maybe I'll pick up some hop water. Maybe I will pick up some NAs. Woodland Empire tonight had a non-alcoholic festival, beer festival for people doing dry
oh, that's
January.
cool.
So that was pretty cool. And I've never really gotten into non-alcoholic, but I know athletic and stuff. I can get that out here. So maybe I'll do that. We'll see. Maybe I'll just drink Starbucks every week for this month. Who knows? Let's get
You could do
crazy.
that, just over caffeinate.
Yeah.
Well, I went to the beach Monday with Erica, and she was like, "Oh, I'm taking a couple days off of drinking because I just drank a lot over Christmas break." Because I had offered her a beer because I was drinking a beer on the beach, and so she had these, just skinny cans of whatever, and she's like, "I didn't realize what they were. They were Celsius." She's like, "I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning because they were like Red Bulls, and she didn't realize." She's like, "So I was trying to be
Oh,
healthy and
yes.
not drink, and
Carrie
I."
bought
She's like, "I'm
those.
surprised I didn't have a heart attack."
They're
Does she
supposed to,
like them?
yeah. So they're supposed to be what like energy drinks, but they also help metabolism and all that stuff too, is what I was reading on the
Oh.
can. So they say to like kind of, I guess they kind of work as a pre-workout in a way. They say to drink them before you work out, and they help boost your metabolism. We get them at Costco. Costco has them in bulk. So that was the first time I ever seen them. So it's funny that she was drinking those, because we have some here too.
We left the beach at 4 and she didn't go to sleep till 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
So
See, I could drink coffee and go right to bed. I don't know what it is, but some
I, for
people,
the most part, can too, but some people, yeah, cannot.
you know what? Maybe if she embraced Crocs a little more, maybe she wouldn't be
She
so
will
wound
never.
up. So
She's on
who knows?
anti-croc team like me.
I had to put
No
my Christmas
Crocs.
Crocs up with the Christmas decorations. So it's, RIP, pour one out. The Christmas Crocs are
Every
up.
time my kids see Crocs at Disney now, they're like, "Are you gonna buy those for Matt too?" I'm
Oh
like,
my
"Can we stop
God,
with the
guys.
Crocs?"
Yes. Thank you. Do they have springtime edition Disney Crocs? Is that a thing?
Oh, well, I'm sure they have them all the time now. They'll probably have arts festivals ones, and who knows. And now it's the
Oh,
100th anniversary of Mickey this year,
okay.
so I'm sure there's going to be all
All
sorts of
right.
ones.
You got my phone number. You just slide on in there. We'll talk. What are you
All
drinking
right.
though?
Oh, I am drinking. I am drinking an IPA from, it's a collab from Aslan Brewery and Sand City Brewery. So I was looking for something a little bit supernatural themed, as I usually do in my day-to-day life anyways. But today seemed a little special since you did finally pop your cherry. And it
Did.
says no parking, so you can see right there. So I took a little picture of it with my mini baby, which is behind
This
me.
reminds me of the episode 35, season 3, where they parked in front of the no parking sign. And Dean said, I don't care.
It's in season 15. Okay. There's a couple times that obviously, I mean, in 15 seasons with the same car and what they do, there's going to be
Yeah.
some issues with baby. But there is a particularly funny scene that you're not going to get to till season 15.
Don't spoil it. All right. All right. I
That's going to
asked,
be the hardest thing now is not spoiling because I have given you so many spoilers
and
over
I
the
don't
last few
remember a
years
single one.
because they just weren't relevant at the time. So I
That's true.
didn't necessarily mind. I mean, hell, we've had 2 full-on episodes about Supernatural, and we've had a guest who worked in the special
And
effects
I
on Supernatural on.
couldn't tell you a single thing about it all. So that's what's kind of funny.
And now I got to watch my P's and Q's.
And now
It's
it's like
funny though, because
spoilers.
you're on season 1, my mom's on season 1, and my husband's on season 5.
Look, Josh and I are just gonna watch it together. I'm gonna catch up and we'll just watch it together. No big deal.
Like, I want to say a joke about I'm doing God's work, but I can't even do that.
Nope, no jokes. Well, before we go into kind of what we've looked into over the last week and talk about that, Cosmic Comic History on Instagram shared a post that had movies that take place in the year 2023 because that's our year of the Lord. And some of those movies were X-Men Days of Future Past, The Purge Anarchy, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Avengers Endgame. We have finally caught up to the timeline, folks. And yeah, we're doing a lot better than many of the movie creators thought we would be in 2023. Like, it's always fun when you look back in the 80s and the futuristic movies have us wearing assless chaps running around the desert landscape. And yet here we are.
Wastelands.
I mean, we're not in the desert landscape yet. We're well on our
Right.
way, but yeah, nope, no assless chaps. I still fully clothed.
I mean, you can get them if you want them. They sell
You
'em.
could. I don't know if I'm there yet. Maybe after a few more squats, maybe I'll feel comfortable to go out there like that. But
I think
we're
Ready Player One is not too far in the future either.
I don't think it is either. And we're not Hawaii's starting to stack buildings like that because there's nowhere else to go, but we're not quite there yet. And so it's always fun to see what movies and look into the, oh, this is what the future looked like according to one,
Back to the Future.
Yeah, and we're not even near there. We don't have flying cars. We don't have flying hover. We do have some hoverboards, but nothing to the effects.
They don't actually hover.
No,
they're called hoverboards,
wheels.
but they have wheels. Yeah, they're literally
wheels.
not hoverboards. They're no more hoverboards than skateboards are. I feel like the most realistic depiction of the future is probably WALL-E. We're all just gonna get fat and sit on iPads all day.
I mean, yeah, that's very true.
And ruin the environment.
Back in my day, I didn't go ahead and give my kid an iPad.
Okay, Grandpa.
I don't know why I sound like Grandpa Bane, but there you go.
Grandpa Bane. You did sound like Grandpa Bane.
Back in my day, fire rose.
Well, so what did we?
Yeah, what did we look into? What we didn't really mess anything up, but what
I did.
Oh, you did? All right. Well, as a son of God now in the supernatural universe, I didn't mess anything up. So
God.
I don't know. What
we're gonna call you Matthew L of God because L means of God.
That's true. I did mess some stuff up, but we'll get to there.
One thing, this isn't a mess up. We had talked about the whiskey and White Claw video. I have pinned that to our TikTok, although I might redo it to have it supernatural theme now. But we talked about it, so I pinned it. We were talking about Iron Fist, and I was saying something about Grant. I was thinking of Ward. His name's Ward in Iron Fist, but I was thinking of Grant Ward from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is why I said Grant. In my head, I saw 2 different people. But that's where I went with that.
The immortal Iron Fist. I am Danny Rand, the immortal Iron Fist.
I was like, you are not immortal. The Iron Fist is immortal, but you are not.
He gets taken
the
down
way
by
he says it. Oy, all right. Clerks 3 we had talked about, but we didn't really put it on like our list of like the best of 2022. So I'm still going back like 2 episodes because I just keep thinking of more things that we watched last year.
Every time I think of something I left off, I'm like, what am I doing? That was I didn't even talk about Wednesday. Wednesday was should have been up there. Clerks 3 was a tearjerker. Like
so much better than I expected.
I left off The Boys, and then my anticipated movies, Evil Dead Rises. That trailer launched Evil Dead Rises into like my top 5 most anticipated. What are we doing? What do we do here?
So I'm still good with my top 10 anticipated, but I did watch the trailer for that new Nick Cage vampire movie, and
Oh
that
my
looks
God.
hilarious and amazing.
Oh my God. Does that not look Nicolas Cage?
Renfield.
You could have Nicolas Cage reading the Bible for 3 hours and I would buy a ticket and sit there and watch the entire thing.
Oh, I still need to watch the movie with him and Pedro
Oh my
Pascal.
God. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is a must watch because that was
Yes.
another really good movie. Like, there's so many wicked good movies. I don't know. I would redo my list, but I'm just gonna move on and let it be because I'm gonna be on Sean's
Oh,
most
so you're gonna
anticipated.
redeem yourself
Well,
then?
no, because he's already talked about the 2022. I'm going to talk about the TV shows because I've left TV shows off of my most
Ah.
anticipated. So I will be on Metalcore Nerds to talk about that here in a couple weeks.
So another one we forgot about was Book of Boba Fett, but that came out in December
Yeah,
2021, but most of it was in 2022, and that
that
didn't even I wouldn't have added that to my top 10 anyways, but I feel like it should have gotten an honorable mention. I liked Book of Well, I liked
yes.
it more than you did.
I didn't care for it very much. I'm going to be honest, just did not care for it. Yeah, yeah.
So I knocked two and added Peacemaker and Clerks 3 to my list. I knocked Black Adam and I don't remember what the other one was. I knocked.
Oh,
That's how
the
much I liked it.
hierarchy has changed.
So now, yeah, it's Wakanda Forever, The Boys season 3, Obi-Wan, Spirited, Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, and or Thor, Peacemaker, and Clerks 3.
I respect it. Respect all of it. Solid decisions.
Thank you.
Well, we'll move on. So why don't we go into what we have been reading and or watching as of late? Why don't you start us off?
I watched Strange World. I thought it was
It was
really
good.
cute.
I watched it too. Uh, I'm surprised this didn't. I mean, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it reminded me of the comic book Oblivion song. Anybody who's seen that, and I'll post on the Instagram pictures of like side by side because I'm like watching this and the way the creatures are like a lot of the and you find out later why the creatures look the way they are. And I don't want to spoil the movie because it's a super cute, fun, family friendly movie. But they like a lot of the creatures don't have faces and stuff, and that's like it in the Robert Kirkman comic that ended not too long ago. So I thought that was really cool. And when I pulled it out and showed my daughter, she's like, "Oh yeah, I do see that." So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It was fun. My son loved it. My daughter loved it. She's now wearing her hair like the mom.
Oh, is she? It was a good movie. Legitimately, I thought it was a fun adventure film. We watched it one night, and it's not anything that's gonna blow you away. Like there were a lot better other movies, animated films, but I mean, the fact that this hardly got marketed and just kind of silently came out and you never heard anything about it, I feel like it was kind of an injustice because it was definitely a lot better than just here you go, it's out. Let's not talk about it
Yeah.
ever again.
Yeah. I don't know what I mean, who knows of all this stuff? You hear the stories like about, was it Treasure Planet or something where they
Yeah.
didn't push it because the people who were creating it went above somebody else's head. And instead they pushed like whatever the
Treasure
hell other
Planet's
movie
another
came out there.
really amazing movie that should get way more love, but
I've actually never seen it. I need to sit
oh,
down with the kids and do a movie night and see it. Yeah.
yeah, you
I fell
do.
victim to the lack of advertising.
I am going ahead and doing a movie night for my work for kids and stuff, and so that's the movie I chose
Oh,
because I feel like
nice.
it doesn't get hardly enough love, and it's a very good movie.
Yeah, I got a list of. I started writing them on the board because it's always like, what are we going to watch on movie night? And then nobody has anything, and then we'll be
You're
having a
scrolling
conversation
Disney
and be like,
Plus.
we need to watch Princess Bride. Yeah, so we need to watch Princess Bride. We need to watch Super Pets. We haven't seen that.
What?
So yeah, we're
Oh,
gonna go through
launch
that.
Super Pets to like the top of your list. Seriously,
Okay.
absolutely.
But what I thought was so funny, I am going to spoil one little thing. It has nothing to do with the plot. In Strange World, when the guy's like, "Your mom's dead," and he's like, "No, she's 60 and works out 5 days a week." Like, wow, Disney has taken a massive turn
Yeah.
on that. And at one point in the very beginning, when the mom says a comment like, "Don't talk to me till I've had coffee," I'm like, "Wow, she's the most relatable Disney mother ever." And I'm like, "Oh, maybe because she's alive."
Oh, ooh, both the parents were alive.
Yeah, there's a lot of alive
Surprisingly,
parents in this. Yeah,
there was a lot of
maybe that's why it didn't do well. They didn't kill
oh,
off the parents.
nobody died in this movie. It's a 0 out of 10. There was
It's the
no
recipe for
childhood
success.
traumas.
Right, just generational trauma.
Yeah. Oh man, what else did you watch? You watched a couple of good things.
Glass Onion, I did
You
watch
did.
that.
What'd
Oh,
you think of
Daniel,
it?
it was good. There was a few
Yeah.
things that were, you're like you saw it coming, but most of it I did not see coming. And I love Daniel Craig in that. I thought it was a lot of fun to see him in more of a different role than I usually see him in. You usually don't see him be funny, and he was funny.
Yeah.
But what was interesting is Hugh Grant was in it for like 5 seconds. Like, why
That's
did they
it was his
cast?
husband. Yeah, that
Right, but why did they cast Hugh Grant just for
why
five
not?
seconds?
Because if you look at the star-studded cast, why not? That's what
I
makes it even
guess, but it's
better.
like, how much did they have to pay him for something that like just about anybody could have done? It
I
was like I was surprised I didn't see him again.
yeah, I was expecting to see him again. He just kind of showed up, answered the door, and that was it. Uh, but
And he was making bread because it was COVID
yes,
time.
yes, it was COVID. And one of the best parts of that movie too was when you go back and look, all everything is in plain sight. You just initially they do a really good job of misdirecting you from seeing the stuff that's in plain sight unless you're really paying attention. But a lot of the stuff I didn't see happen until he pointed it out, and then you're like, "Oh wow,
Mm.
that did happen." Or you saw it happen, and you're like, "I didn't see that," because then he starts talking about his version of the story, and you're just like, oh yeah, I guess that is what happened. And then you're like, no, I knew I was right. They did really good job. And I would love like a Batman Benoit Blanc team up movie at some point. Like, can you just imagine? It'd be amazing.
Yeah, the two world's best detectives.
It's incredible.
And then I watched Violent Night. The last night we had the Christmas tree up. We left it up an extra night
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
watched Violent Night. It was really funny. I mean, the parts with
Amazing.
the kids setting up traps, it was like this is what would have actually happened to Marv and Harry than
Absolute
this
brutality.
nonsense that actually did happen. But yeah, I mean it was vulgar, but it was funny and it was so Christmas filled.
It really was. Like, are we doing these? Yeah, you call me Mr. Scrooge.
Yeah.
He's
And
like, what is
and
with
he's
you
like,
at
what's a lot of
Christmas?
yeah. Well, and I didn't the one guy, the dad, I was driving me nuts because I couldn't place him. It was translucent from the boys.
Was he really?
I
I knew
IMDb'd
I
it. I did
saw
not
him
figure it out on
somewhere.
my own.
I don't
Yeah.
know why I didn't. And then
Well, he had
oh,
clothes on in this. Maybe
that's true.
that's why.
That's true. It was yeah, it's such a good movie. And Dave Harbor, man, he slays it. Haha. But
Oh, nice
uh
pun.
the kills were very, very inventive. And he wasn't like some bad, he just kind of bumbles around in the beginning, but the whole backstory, Santa Claus got a backstory. That was badass.
Yeah. And it
Like
was
we
a really cool backstory. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And he
Yeah, I don't want to yeah.
I don't want to spoil anymore. You're right.
Yeah.
For because it's still relatively new, just came out to streaming. So yeah, really, really good stuff. I watched season 1 of White Lotus. We binge six
Keep hearing
episodes.
about that. Oh, that's
You
it.
I for some reason I thought for sure it was a murder mystery. It is not. It's more of like a rich person character study. So if you kind of go in expecting that, because HBO has this whole subculture of just examining rich white people, it's really good. Steve Zahn as like a dad is, something that just is still hilarious to me if you've watched any of his early 2000s films. And the
He was a
cast,
dad in Riding in Cars with Boys. Wasn't
yeah,
a very good one,
no, I mean
but
he was the dad in 8-Bit Christmas. That's kind of where I first,
yeah.
but it was great. It was just a 6 episode character study. There was parts where like none of these people are likable. There's maybe one likable person the entire time, maybe two, but it was for the most part you hate these people. You're just like disgusted by their actions, by them, and it's what makes it good and interesting. So there is a season 2. I'm going to start that probably soon and like go back and forth between that and the other thing I watched, which was Supernatural. So that's about all I've really been reading. I haven't read anything. I've been terrible with reading. I have so many comic books that I haven't read. I don't know. I've been playing video games, Pokemon, right? So
I need to hit up
and
the comic book shop. I haven't been there in a month.
yeah, I need to go tomorrow maybe. I do want to go see Megan that comes
Ooh.
out. So I think I might go catch that maybe if I have time soon. But yeah, I haven't really been able to read anything. So that's about all I've done. Let's roll into some news. We have some news. So if you're a fan of CW and the Arrowverse as it fizzles out and comes to an end, you should know that season 9, the final season of The Flash, does premiere on February 8th on the CW at 8 p.m. Eastern. Well, it comes to find out that Stephen Amell is coming back. He's coming back for an episode directed by Danielle Panabaker. You would all know her. She, Caitlin was on the earlier seasons. Diggle's coming back, and so is Wally
Diggle's
West.
in Superman and Lois.
Oh, is he? I heard that's coming to an end as well soon, or they haven't officially announced it, but the writing's kind of on the wall. After season 3, it looks like it's probably not going to come back, and so But yeah, Stephen Amell's coming back, which is going to be interesting because if you remember Crisis, he died twice.
Right. Yeah. Are they doing a flashback or is this an alternate universe?
I don't know. You'll have to go read my BAMSmack Pow article. Shameless plug. Go to bamsmackpow.com. And I didn't give you any answers. Spoiler alert. It's just the director and creators basically like it's exciting to have them come back and being heroes together again. So I don't
They
know if
probably
that
don't want us to know. Yeah. You should
I
post
mean
it on the Facebook.
I did. That
Oh, I
shows how
didn't
much you
see
pay
that.
attention. But who knows? Maybe multiverse. Through multiverse, anything is possible. But with that said, speaking of multiverse, James Gunn has actually debunked that Wonder Woman would not be in the first 3 year plan for DC. And he was like, nope, not true.
Is it Gal Gadot?
Yeah, we don't know. So they have an 8 year, 8 to 10 year long slate planned right now. They're going to be letting us know the first few years really soon. Any day now, basically, is when they're going to be coming out with their plan. So we don't
Mm.
know. He's the best thing about James Gunn is he actually will go on there and debunk rumors. That's the
I
best thing
love
about
that
James
he
Gunn.
does that, yeah. And he'll respond to like random people, like not necessarily famous or whatever. He's just like, actually, no, or
Yeah,
yes.
and that's the best. That's the best way. So we actually know who is going to come back, and what's real and what's not real versus running wild from these scoopers out there. And
So he needs
but
his like move up DC fandom or something.
God, no kidding. So expect news from that to come out soon. Dave Batista has said that he is done playing Drax. So it's official. We don't know what's going to
Didn't he
happen to
say this
him.
months ago?
He's been saying it. It's not really, it's an open secret. Not that it was a secret in the first place, but he was basically saying that, the makeup was really starting to wear
Oh
him
my
down.
gosh, I'm sure.
And he didn't want to be like The Rock and get kind of pigeonholed. He wants to be a serious actor. Like acting is his passion. And personally, I think he's the best wrestler turned actor, in my opinion. And I would love to see what he does. He's coming out. He has an M. Night Shyamalan movie coming out soon.
It was in
And
Glass Onion.
he was in Glass Onion. Yeah, he's in a lot of movies. So he's done playing Drax. He's kind of done with it. And then Jeremy Renner has
Mhm.
been all over the place. He was in Lake Tahoe helping somebody out and got hit by a snowplow. And he's been sharing videos and updates. He's still in critical condition, ICU, a bunch of surgeries, but he seems to be in good spirits. His mom and sister were there. He posted a video saying spa day and they were rubbing his head. So I hope he comes out okay. And it sucks. I mean,
Yeah.
by all accounts, he was just helping somebody out, and it's unfortunate what happened for sure.
And yeah, he had to get airlifted and everything.
Yeah, and so be careful. That's the bottom line. Not that he wasn't being careful. You never know when accidents can happen, but it was a rough week between that and what went down in the Buffalo Bills game. And
I was
just
like, what else happened?
yeah, well,
Oh, you mean the guy that got hurt?
Hamlin,
Oh, I
yeah.
thought you were
So
making a joke. Oh my God,
no,
that was
no,
terrible.
yeah. I was watching the game and it was a normal hit, and he went in a cardiac arrest on the field, and the Buffalo Bills trainer, hats off to him, because he was out there within a minute and CPR, life-saving
Knew what to
CPR.
do.
It saved his life. He's still in critical care, but he's regained consciousness. He's starting to breathe,
He's
all
so
that kind of stuff.
young.
He's 24. It's
I
crazy.
know. He looked like a baby.
Very young. So I'm glad he's doing well. And he had a toy drive, and it was sitting
Mhm.
at a couple $1,000s because he's only been doing it for a couple of years, but he wasn't a really well known player. And however, overnight and everybody, it's over $5 million now. So it's really really
That's what
cool.
that was. Oh,
What?
Josh thought that they were like doing a GoFundMe for him for his medical
No,
bills.
it
I was like,
was
well, that's weird that they would do that for a famous, but that makes so much more sense. And that's
yeah,
way better.
it was his charity. It was a toy drive for kids, and it was obviously he wasn't very well known, sitting at
Mm-hmm.
$2,500, and everybody just it's cool what you know people can do when they really want to come together for a good cause. Moments like that kind of showcase.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
Um,
what news do you have before we go into some supernatural?
um, so there's a rumor going around that Marvel will be doing two more Halloween specials in the future since Werewolf by Night did so well. I hope so because Werewolf by Night was amazing, but I would also love to see them tie all of it together. I mean, we know it's part of the MCU, like let's tie some shit together.
Yeah,
Game of Thrones, it sounds like we're not going to be getting all the spin-offs we thought we were because HBO Max just doesn't know how to get out of its own way.
the
Wakanda
entire
Forever,
company.
I don't even know what they're doing. I
I have
just to be a fly on the wall. I don't
Did you see
know.
the leaked? Not really leaked, but Leslie Grace was sharing Batgirl pictures, and
Yeah.
the suit looks cool.
It
And
looks it looks so cool. It looks like all the
absurd.
freaking figurines my daughter has.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's shitty. Uh yeah, because HBO Max. Wakanda Forever will be coming to Disney Plus February 1st. And I'm surprised you didn't mention this news about Ezra Miller. Do you want to take this over?
Oh,
Because you're definitely going to be more passionate about this than me.
yeah. So apparently Warner Brothers is entertaining the idea of keeping Ezra Miller on as the Flash. James Gunn didn't was kind of like, I don't really know what's going on with Ezra. This is our slate. Hope to God they don't keep Ezra as the Flash after all of the crap they've done. No, look, if you're kicking out Henry Cavill and all of these other actors, but you choose to die on the hill that is Ezra Miller of all things, I can't get behind that. Most people can't. And so
Yeah.
they shouldn't be coming back as the Flash. Just slate. Give me somebody who's actually respectable. It, I didn't hate Ezra as the Flash. I just that's my favorite hero, and I want to be able to be like take my kids to see the Flash and actually have somebody who isn't such a piece of crap kidnapping and
Right.
whatever else they've done. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, that sounds silly to say like you want him to be a real life hero as well, but you were just talking about Jeremy Renner. It's like all the things I've heard about all these amazing things he's done, and like people truly are like, oh, I hope to God he's okay. And how we felt when Chadwick died too is the same kind of thing. It's like, oh, you feel like he was a genuinely
you
good
can look up to
person, and
these
that
heroes
right, and that's you see that on the screen.
versus Ezra running around punching people in the face, kidnapping, drugs. It's just like you can
I
no.
I guess they're trying to like be supportive of the fact that like now he's going to treatment and he's mentally well, but it's
No, I
I don't
don't care
know.
that they're going to treatment. I don't care that they're all
So
that. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, people can be redeemed, but just because you did something for a year doesn't mean that they deserve to. Yeah,
yeah. Well, we shall see what happens with that.
we will. We will indeed.
A couple asked if there were any questions on the Instagram. Riley, one of our Patreons, asked, when are we doing a Lego episode?
Letters
So
to the
we
editor. Yeah. You want
did
to do that
do
now or do you want to do it at the end?
oh, I was gonna go. I just went ahead and started it.
All right, letters it is, folks. Letters to the editor it is. Go ahead, take it away.
My bad. Um, yes, so we did record a Lego episode almost a year ago, but we lost it. It got deleted. We still have all the notes. We will have to find a time in 2023 to do that Lego episode again. He has requested that as his Patreon pick.
Riley,
So
you
we will be
coming?
doing that.
We got you.
And he had a question. This is going to be for you since you are the Lego person. Do you have Mando, Grogu, or Ahsoka brickheads or a Tusken Raider?
I do not. I don't have any brickheads actually. I just never went on my way to get them. So I've never. No, I don't. I've got a bunch of the cool sets. Speaking of which, there's a new TIE bomber out, and that's I want one of those. I got to go pick up one of those if I can find it. There's a new TIE bomber out Lego set. I do have a Mando helmet. The Lego set helmets
Oh,
on display.
yeah.
I just have to build it, so I have that, but not the brickheads. No, I don't.
And our only other comment was from Ian, who doesn't know how to follow directions in our Instagram polls. He said, don't talk supernatural if any of the hosts are going to question it.
I wasn't question. Listen, Mr. Gate. Listen, for all the thousands of people that were like, welcome, there's always that one
I
who's
know, and it's Ian.
gates closed, buddy.
So he never responds correctly. And for anybody who doesn't know of Ian, Ian was actually on our Supernatural episode a few years ago. He's a personal friend of mine, and we have our own Supernatural text chain with a few of us. And so he never follows the directions of like when we asked favorite shows of 2022, he said Supernatural. And that did not come out in 2022, nor did it end in 2022. But yeah, he never follows the directions. But
Whatever.
I'm just conveying the information, and
It's
that's all we
fine.
got.
I guess he'll have to catch the second half of this episode where we are actually going to go in and talk about. I've seen the first 7 episodes of season 1 or 6. I'm only 6 episodes in, so
So the
we're
last
gonna,
one you watched was Skin.
yes. So we'll go ahead.
Okay.
We'll talk about it a little bit. Talk about where we're at, what I think, things like that, and yeah. So we'll be back in just a moment, actually. All right, and welcome back. We're here. We're going to talk some Supernatural, just kind of the first 6 episodes. Again, if you've caught our TikTok at all, yes, we are on TikTok. Howdy, kids. How do you do, fellow kids? But I was basically went on there and was like, I have a couple questions, just being the idiot that I am. And then I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead. Let's make this an adventure. Let's make this a journey. Lauren's been asking me to, or not asking, but she's been talking about Supernatural and
Harassing you.
harassing me for 3 years. And I thought it
You
was
can be
only
honest.
fair that since she has gotten into Star Wars over the last year, that, I go halfway, and the least that I could do as well is kind of see what Supernatural was about. And so I sat down one night and turned it on, and it was, my initial thoughts were, it was a lot darker to start than I expected. Like I was expecting, because I've seen clips and stuff of later episodes. It's lighthearted, kind of. I know it changes as it goes on,
It
but
gets a bit funny. Yeah.
yeah, but I didn't expect it to be so like serious and dark at first. And I was like, oh man, that's like right off the bat, the moms get like Jeffrey Dean Morgan's there and how young he looked. And
Yeah.
the mom's on the roof, like cut up and just lit on fire. And I was like, oh Lord.
That's Tracy's favorite part.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like right to the get, they jump right into it to the get go. And I was like, oh, I thought for some reason I thought they were fine. They were just showing a flashback of them as kids, and maybe the dad kills a demon or something, because I knew he was a demon hunter or whatever they are. And then next thing you know, he's like got the blood dripping on him, and then the mom on the ceiling. I was like, oh my. And I kids running out of the house during a fire, and I was like, that is my worst nightmare as a parent. Jesus. And so I was like, this it kicked off.
Is your wife burning on the ceiling and you have to get the kids out of the house? Take your little brother and go
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah. And not for nothing, but like that poor family, because Sam's girlfriend, it was in that same episode at the end of the episode, wasn't they?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
They
and
go
did you
back.
recognize? Oh, you didn't watch Agents
She,
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
no, but she was in some other things I recognized her from. I knew right off the bat she was familiar, and I knew she was in. I can't remember now what she was in, but I did recognize her.
She
And
was Mockingbird in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if anybody watched that.
everybody, it's funny, first of all, how young everybody looks and how early 2000s the soundtrack is. It's very.
Yeah. So I actually want to buy season one because I did not watch it originally, but if you watched it live, apparently it's very different music and it's supposedly much
Oh,
better. Because
really?
if you think about it, in 2005, there was no laws about streaming and copyright laws with streaming and whatnot.
Oh, I had no idea.
So seasons 2 to 14 are all the original music, but I've heard season one, like there's one they're like, oh yeah, there's what, I don't want to say too much, spoil too much. Now I have
There's a
to
lot of
watch what I
butt
say.
rock, a lot of butt rock on the Netflix version.
There's a lot of 70s rock and stuff throughout the whole series. You're going to hear a lot of ACDC
Oh, that's
E
fine.
and
This
what he
one's just
says.
like
Yeah.
generic dad rock, like not even dad rock. It's like generic, whatever was hot like 2000s. Just that version of rock and roll. I
Right.
guess it was
Well,
not
and
really.
Wayward Son obviously becomes
Oh
the
yeah,
go-to in later seasons. But there's a few other songs that you'll hear and they're like supernatural songs now, like Heat of the Moment and Blame It on the Night Moves and stuff like that. But yeah, the music's a lot of fun. They do a good job.
yeah. It's not. Yeah, I'll get into that in a second. Like I said, I've only seen 6 episodes, but again, like I wasn't expecting it to be kind of as heavy. Of course, at the beginning, I was like, how do these dudes getting out of jail? Like, I know the credit card fraud is how they kind of pay for everything and things like that. But then that one episode, Dean gets locked up and he gets out pretty easily. And I'm just like, the cops just dropped that. They had this man arrested and they just don't put on like a manhunt. There's no nationwide manhunt for these guys. Like, what is going on here? And everyone's like, it's a show about demons and vampires. And that's what you're worried about. I'm like, well, yeah, I suspend my disbelief. I get it, guys. I understand what the show is. I get it. And I'm not nitpicking. I was just like, man, like they don't I didn't, I guess, I expect them to have run-ins with the law for some
Mm-hmm.
reason. And so when they did, I was like, they're just casually driving around from state to state and nobody's after them. That's interesting. It was
Well, you
weird.
got to keep, I
I know
mean,
you got to keep watching. That's what everybody said. You got to keep watching.
well,
I do
here's the thing. I
know.
can say you got to keep watching, and saying that is almost like a spoiler, but there's also something that I don't think you could predict that
Oh,
happens in season 15 that even explains even more, and they do it in a fucking hilarious manner.
oh, okay. Well,
So that's what, yeah, because
like I said,
like
I'm in it to the end now, so
another
I
321 episodes left.
is that it? That's not bad. You know what? We got nothing. We're good. We'll get there. Maybe I'll probably have it done by the middle of the year.
So did you recognize the young odd kid in season 2, Wendigo?
Oh, the episode 2 Wendy. No, I didn't.
Han Solo.
That was it really?
Yeah.
No way. He doesn't even look Alden
No, he
Ehrenreich,
doesn't.
or how do you
When you
pronounce it?
go back and look at him, you can tell.
Wow. I had no, I just, again, you can, this whole, it's dated. It's so funny because you got like the puka
Mhm.
shells
Oh
and
yeah, and
all
the
just
bright
the
lip
attire.
gloss.
Yeah. Yeah. And wow, I had no, the haircuts for one are just like that. Every dude, like I had the haircut that Sam had. Like that was how my hair was as a teenager, was just like Sam's. And so it's kind of funny, just like a time travel, because I was 15 when the show came out, and so I didn't watch it. I was busy doing other crap, so I just never caught the initial wave. And
Well, I
so
started it in 2016.
right, right.
Yeah.
And I mean, and somehow I'm surprised I've never really been spoiled. I understand that people are like, they play pool and hustle money, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. The stolen credit cards make sense too, and because that, that car is a gas guzzler. That ain't no economy.
Yeah.
You're driving that baby around, you got to pay a lot of money for gas because that thing is not eco-friendly, my friend. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
car.
I
I
will.
don't know how this car stays as shiny and nice as it does either.
Oh, well, Dean does take good care of it.
Yeah, well, Sam drove it through a house.
Oh, and the first one. Okay, I was thinking of something else. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, on the
Which
first one.
which reminds me, in that it's, I am never stopping on the side of the road for some creepy
Woman
looking
in white.
white, like some white woman in a white dress. No, I'm the last. No, you're not getting me. You may get those other dudes. It's always white people too. Always white people that are like, oh, Mister, I'm on the phone with my girlfriend. All of a sudden, I'm gonna go pick up some strange girl on the side of the road. Yeah, I'll take you back to your house. Like, my brother in Christ, can we talk about this for a second? Like, maybe go 10 minutes up the road, run, like get some post nut clarity, and then come back to the situation. Like, Jesus. And he got what he had coming to him, of course. And
He had it coming.
I was just like, my God, like, sir, who is picking up these random people? And as we find out anyway, she's just going to force her way in the car, but she couldn't do anything if you're not cheating. And I was like, that's actually
Right.
really clever. Because,
Well, that's a lot of the lore though. And like so when they go into it, like some of the lore is real, but a lot of times they do a supernatural spin on it. And so I
oh,
loved when Sam's like, there's a woman in white in many different cultures. So,
yes.
a lot of that. And throughout, I mean, they do 15 seasons, so they come up with a lot of stuff. So they're gonna touch, I mean, on every kind of monster out there, basically.
Yeah, I mean the writing is clever so far. I do enjoy that, such as the Bloody Mary episode. They pretty much said the same thing. Like, there's different iterations of Bloody Mary, and this one was cool because in this one it was
It's
basically,
creepy.
yeah, like this one was basically, it's, she's got a secret.
Yeah, that was cool.
And so I thought that was pretty neat. And I was like, oh wow, if you have a secret, that's how she goes.
But your secret had it involved somebody dying.
Yes, yeah. And it was clever, through the mirrors too. Like, she can only come through mirrors and stuff like that. So I thought that was really clever. And I thought also in the episode with the kid who drowned, basically kind of felt
Mm.
Friday the 13th ish, but the cop was her. Speaking of which, her and her kid were surprisingly cheerful as
Yeah,
they
the
were,
day after her dad died. Yeah.
like, her son's getting drowned, and then her dad comes out that he killed some kid when he was a kid, and now he goes out there and he gets drowned and the kid gets saved, and everybody's all
And
of a
now the
sudden,
kid's all better and can talk.
the
Yeah.
kid can talk and he has no more trauma. He hadn't talked in
Mm-hmm.
how long, and his trauma's gone. And there was like, I baked you some bread. Here's some bread for the road. And I'm like, all right, we're a little too happy right
Right.
now.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't you need
we
to go bury your dad?
we got some things to work through. You just found out grandpa was a murderer, when they were a kid,
Right.
as a bully, and then he just went and casually offered himself up to get drowned. Let's pump the brakes. Like, I baked some bread. Okay, maybe that's your way of dealing with trauma. Who am I to judge? But
That that's the one thing I've always thought is like they should have like hunters should have like an on-call therapist. Like when they leave somebody, they
yeah,
should be like, here's a card. I highly recommend you call this person because now that the truth is out there. Because that's always you give them the truth is out there speech. And like, yeah, they all have trauma. And you see some of that, what
well, yeah,
yeah.
like in
But
in
yes, they should have
episodes,
been doing that. They should have had a therapist on call.
for real, because episode 6, poor girl gets kidnapped and almost killed by the shapeshifter, and it's just like, she's you're just gonna leave her, like, hey, you know my secret now, that's what I do. And then she's surprisingly okay too, and I'm like, I'm not living by myself. I'm not trusting anybody else after this. Like now that I know that there's shape shifting people out there and they're gonna tie me up and murder me.
You wouldn't
No,
trust anybody ever again because everybody could be anybody or everybody
exactly.
could be a shapeshifter. Yeah.
And like, man, I did enjoy the Sam and Dean fight. That was pretty good. But yeah, I'm never trusting somebody again. I have a lot to work through after what we all just gone, and you guys are just gonna pick up and leave, and I gotta pick up all these pieces here. What are we like? Do you
At
maybe
least her brothers got out of jail.
use that fraudulent credit card to maybe give me some therapy?
That's another thing too, though. It's like a lot of people end up, and obviously they can't save everybody, and they're saving people. At the end of the day, more people are
Yeah.
alive because of them. But there's so many people throughout the show that are sitting in jail for shit they didn't do because it's like they can't go get them out of jail. They don't have that kind of jurisdiction. They can't be breaking people out of jail. But
They're
I always think about that, like the guy who got arrested for killing his wife in that episode.
Mhm.
He's not out.
Yeah, what like they just kind of forget about him and they're very casual with their fake I'm a cop and how easy these cops believe them. Like in the very first episode, they just walk up, yeah, I'm a marshal. And at first they just believed them all casual. It's like they don't even remotely look like they could be cops or park
Well, yeah,
rangers. Like at
I feel
least
like when
change
they're
your attire.
older, they do, but they just look too young in the
Well,
earlier seasons.
yeah, that's my thing is they
Yeah.
don't change their clothes. So they're wearing the same thing. So you have all
Well,
of the stuff in your
they
car.
did in Phantom Traveler.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if you're gonna be a park ranger, maybe dress the part. I know it's a very, very nitpickish kind of thing, but I'm like, you have all this other stuff. I would think that you would try to change your outfits up a little because I don't know. I'm not gonna go hiking boots and
They,
jeans and
yeah, they
whatnot.
will. Well, yeah. Oh, in the episode two, when Digo and she even makes fun of him, and he's like, "Honey, I don't do shorts." But
Yeah.
in the Phantom Traveler, though, that's the one where they do the suits for the first time, and Dean's like uncomfortable, and Sam's like, "We got
Yeah.
to look the part." So you do see them starting to get
See,
more clever about it.
I do like that. That's just clever writing. That's good writing right there if you
Right.
kind of do that. So I enjoy that. Okay.
So it was funny when I was in New York with my daughter who loves scary stuff. She wanted to watch Supernatural. And since we, at night when we went back we were staying at my friend Tracy's house. And at night when we went back, we watched Supernatural. So we watched the first few episodes and we get on the plane and she's like, we watch the next episode? And I saw that it was Phantom Traveler and we were on the airplane. So I told her no, because that's the episode where the demon takes the plane down.
Oh yeah. And
So I was like, let's wait till we get home.
Dean is freaking out, and then they just casually beat the crap out of the pilot. Like they get the code. First of all, this close post 9/11, that co-pilot is not coming out
Yeah.
for anything. But second of all, it's like they just casually beat up the co-pilot, and I was like, oh god. And
I love how terrified Dean is too and like screaming.
yeah, he's when it was pretty funny when they started to go down and he's in the corner screaming all up and Sam's
Yes.
trying to recover, which is another thing that Carrie and I were talking about. So they have that book that their dad leaves them, and it's basically like a Pokédex of all right, what are we dealing with now? Oh, on page 32, this is going on. I just think it's the funniest thing that their dad just casually disappeared, but he's leading them on like this trail almost, and he left them his version of a Pokédex. And so it's just like, I don't know, it's
He's not the
hilarious.
best father. Is a Pokédex the coordinates?
The Pokédex is basically like in Pokemon, it has like your map and
Oh,
it has
I thought it was a military thing because he
well,
was in the
no. Like
Marines.
it's from Pokemon. So basically you log all of the Pokemon that you've caught and seen in your Pokédex and it logs all that.
Oh, his journal?
His journal is basically a
It's a
Pokédex for
hunter's
demons.
journal.
Yeah,
Oh
it's a
my
Pokédex for
gosh.
demons.
So they all have that, like all the hunters. Like you don't ever really see Sam and Dean writing in it, but you see them regularly like referring to dads, but they
Exactly.
talk about writing in their journals. And the Winchester, I don't know. So the beginning of the Winchesters, you see Dean reading out of a book. And I wonder, like, is that his hunter's journal? But that
Oh
is a
yeah.
hunter's journal. I didn't know what a
It
Pokédex.
is.
I thought you were
Oh
talking
yeah,
about when he
no.
said, dad left the old Marine Corps coordinates or whatever.
No. It's the Pokédex is basically logging all
Gotcha.
of the Pokemon that you've seen and caught, and that's all that his journal is basically all the demons and stuff.
I got a hunter's journal for Christmas from my cousin Tabby.
Did you really? Well, I don't have a Pokédex, but maybe we can use your. Are you gonna leave it for your kids one day and just put random coordinates and things in there?
Maybe. I'm going to
It's
send him
gonna
on
be
a scavenger
breweries.
hunt of monsters. Yeah, right.
It's gonna be
I
breweries.
love that. With just hints.
Mom left the coordinates of
and
this, and
drawings.
it's like to tripping animals or to a Russian river or something like
There you
that.
go. Which brewery has animals that look high? That's Tripping Animals
Oh my
to
god.
Miami.
Don't worry, guys. This beer, drink enough of them. You're gonna be seeing shapeshifters, all right. It's
Shapeshifters.
overall though. I will say I'm enjoying the show. More than I thought I would be. I know it gets more lighthearted, but I'm was very taken aback by how dark and kind of serious it was. Again, I know that things like they were supposed to end after what 5 seasons, and so like the writing kind of gets
Yes.
bad for a while, which I'm fine. People are like, you got to just get through these seasons and then it's going to get good again. I'm like, it'll be fine. We're just here for the ride. We're along for the ride.
So yeah, the where the what is it where the road has gone or something or something like that. The road so far.
Mhm.
And that's you'll hear that later. But what it like season 1 is, and you saw it in Smallville too. Like Smallville was Freak of the Week, and Supernatural season 1 was Monster of the Week. But you have this,
It
little
was a
overall
story.
story
Yeah,
of, looking for dad, and obviously dad's ultimate mission is to find what killed mom.
exactly.
And so over the seasons, and yes, 1 through 5, like when I first watched the season finale of 5, I was so confused because I knew that there were 7 more seasons after that at the time. But it was a series finale, 100%.
Mm.
And so I Googled it, and that's when it was like Eric Kripke told his story that he wanted to tell in 5 seasons, and he was out. So it ends beautifully, and it ends like you almost have closure, but then there is a little bit of a cliffhanger, and obviously it does come back for season 6. But then
10
there
more
are
seasons after that.
exactly. But over the course of time, they start to focus on the more overall arching story in each season, but then they'll still throw in those monsters of the week, which then is like, that's a nice break in like season 11 when you have this ultimate story of this going on and that. And then they're like, let's go do a random hunt. And then this random hunt is funny.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it definitely is darker. It's literally darker in season 1 too, but it definitely
Yeah.
does get more lighthearted, but it gets funnier too. And then they do a lot of callbacks. And then, it's going to be the whole thing. Like anytime you watch an old show like Seinfeld or Friends, you see all like everybody's been in Supernatural. You see it.
Yeah.
Like how many times have we been talking about stuff? And I'm like, oh, that guy was in Supernatural. Like you're going to see Hawkman from Black Adam in season 2.
Oh wow.
So it's so many, and it was driving me nuts during Black Adam. I couldn't figure out who the hell he was. And as soon as we got out of there, I IMDb'd him, and I'm like, that's who he
I
is.
knew it.
Well, and like I've seen, I don't even want to say anything else, but yes, I've seen many people in other things,
Yeah. It
and they
makes
repeat
sense.
characters. So once you finish and you start your rewatch, then you'll pick up on the characters that you see. Like they'll have somebody who was a throwaway character. They were a nurse in season 1, and all of a sudden they're in a bunch of episodes in season
That's
8.
just BBC classic. BBC does that all the time,
Mm.
and Doctor Who does it. So what? Who cares? I
Well,
mean,
Smallville went and cast somebody's twin brother as a completely different character, and we were supposed to pretend we didn't notice.
well, yeah, that's true. It and also like not for nothing, but you have 23
Identical
episodes.
twin.
So I mean, it's you got to fill 23 episodes with an overarching theme and stuff like that. It's a lot harder to do versus just doing 6 to 12 episodes.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
and
you
season 3 was short because of the writer's strike, but I
oh
think it
yeah,
worked
that's
out
right.
to their
The
advantage.
writer's
So when you
strike.
get to there, I'll tell you what was supposed to happen.
Oh, well, I will get there. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna continue on. I'm in it till the end, no matter what. However long that takes me, and we're gonna be doing random, we're gonna be doing bonus episodes, kind of how supernatural specific ones, I guess. I guess we're kind of a supernatural pod. What are we, some kind of supernatural podcast
Dreams
now?
do come true.
uh it's just all in good fun and it's exciting. We'll see what happens. Everybody's super welcoming. Everybody's like, welcome to the supernatural family, this, that. And I was like, wow, this is not Star Wars fandom. This is not whatever's going on with the Snyder Bros and DC and stuff. I was like, wow, everybody doesn't want to kill each other. This is kind of fun. It's all right. I can get behind a fandom like that. It's cool.
Right.
It's not Harry Potter where the creator of Harry Potter is a piece of trash, and so it's kind of nice because the MCU is kind of going down the Star Wars route right now. People are just
Yeah.
losing their minds. So it's refreshing to see that not all fandoms kind of, I mean, you're going to have crappy people in any fandom, but ever just the mass amount of people that were really supportive of it were great. And so that makes you want to immerse yourself even more and
Right.
all that stuff. So shout
I
out
mean,
to
if you
them.
bring up the Winchesters, people are not
Well,
happy. but
That's
it
fair.
doesn't make sense yet because as of right now, it seems like 15
Yeah.
years of lore have been ruined, but they're saying, hold on,
It's all about patience, man.
we're
Everybody
not going
wants
to do that.
quick payoffs in this day and age. You gotta just go
We'll
with the
see.
journey. Have hope. I don't know. Do you have anything else though?
Oh, I have so much more,
All right.
but I
Well,
will wait.
we gotta save it. All right. We gotta save it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be halfway through the season by next week. We'll see just how long it takes me and how busy I
Yeah,
get,
let's
but
see what your next one is. So you
we'll
just
see.
finished Skin.
Yep.
Next is Hookman.
Whoa. Ooh. And then I was told that there's a really cool creepy scarecrow episode this season, which scarecrows
Ugh.
creep me out for some reason.
Oh,
Maybe it's Jeepers Creepers related. I don't know, but or
yeah,
Goose.
Scarecrow's 11.
Okay, Goosebumps had a really good scarecrow episode too. When that was younger, that was always like my ah, this one's kind of creepy, for however creepy Goosebumps could get. But I was told
Oof.
the Bugs episode isn't really good, which not everything's gonna be a
I
diamond. So
didn't hate that one, but it's like the lowest rated one of all of them except the like series finale.
you're not gonna please everybody, all right? We're
But
good.
yeah, they make fun of the episode later. I'm not going to tell you how they make fun of it obviously, but
Full circle.
the show gets very meta.
Yeah,
I will say that.
that's fun. That's exciting.
Not like Legends meta, but it does get
Yeah,
meta.
right on. I can get behind that. I'm having fun. Keep an eye
And
out,
you're
folks.
probably picking up, you got to pay attention to the names they always use.
Okay.
And they do a ton of Star Wars references, a
Okay.
ton of they even do Lord of the Rings references later, Harry Potter
Nice.
references. Like there are things that I didn't even pick up till the second, third, however many watches.
Uh,
And now, I mean, they
that's
mentioned Wedge
just
Antilles, and I'm like, hey, I know that now.
hey, I understood that reference.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Unlike some people in Supernatural who don't understand that reference, I
tough,
understood that reference.
tough.
And you will understand that reference in
I
season
will.
4.
I will at some point. I'll get there. But for now, we're on this. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, if you want to, just make sure you subscribe, drop reviews, all that stuff. Help us grow. And like we said, we'll be doing one-off episodes. I'm not going to promise every week because life gets crazy. But as I watch, yeah, we're gonna get back together and we're gonna talk about how it's all going, and then culminate each season by having a couple guests on to talk about the season and review it and all of that good stuff. And so I hope you enjoy those. I hope you enjoy everything that we put out. Like I said, share with a friend, all of that good stuff. That's how we grow. And this is all just in good fun. Make sure if you want, patreon.com/hopsgeeknews. Our Patreons, they get to choose what episodes we do too. So like Riley wants us to do a Lego episode, done deal, my friend. And so if you want to help support the show, whether it's $1, 3 or 5, it doesn't matter. Anything helps us. Maybe,
I'm going to send you some goodies.
yeah, we'll work on a website. We'll send you some goodies. And maybe, out of that money we put right back into the show, whether it's stickers, and who knows, maybe our next little merch design is going to be a supernatural based one. We'll
If
see.
you do look on one of our pictures, we already have baby on it,
We do on our most,
which you surprised me with.
yes, our comic book cover where we're fighting Hopper, and it's on there, so which is exciting. And I threw that in there before I even started watching the show, so exciting times. Thank you for hanging out with us. We will see you guys next week. Cheers, everybody.